First thing we want to do is preheat our oven to 375 degrees. And using a 9-inch pie crust, we're gonna blind bake it. And all that is adding either pie weights. I use pinto beans. Make sure that you have oven safe paper. And we're gonna bake this pie crust for 15 minutes. Happy Hot Tuesday, y'all. It's not Taco Tuesday, it's Hot Tuesday. See, I got my hair knotted up. I was about to sweat down. Yeah, I had to go to the P.O. box. And I got a whole lot of get well cards. Look at that. And a beautiful book filled with daily prayers. So, I thank y'all. I'm sure you can find your card in this. And there's a little one somewhere. Here it is. Oops. Let's see if I can get it in there. There you go. Thank you. So, I don't know what y'all are doing, but yes, I'm running an oven. But that's because we're about to make a pantry pie. Now, I made this for us a few days ago, but since I'm having to go to the dentist tomorrow to address that tooth, I'm going to see my brother, and I want to make him a pantry pie. So, as you can see, all we're doing is blind baking the pie crust for 15 minutes. And I got my timer going. If you hear the click, 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 click. So I'm going to run through the ingredients so you can write the ingredients down. Then we'll go step by step. But we're not just stopping there. Y'all are staying with me for our supper. Now, guys, this is summer. This is summer. That's all I can say. It's not heavy. It's light. It's just delicious. And that is chicken piccata. Now, I may be saying it wrong. That's just how I say it. But it's such a easy, no fuss supper. Some may call it dinner. Great weeknight, great weekend, great lunch. But it's light, guys. And I'm trying to get in the kitchen and out as fast as I can. So our supper can be pulled together in about 20 minutes, tops. But the pantry pie, it's going to take the longest. So that's why I wanted to start with the pie. Then we'll move into our supper tonight. And that is chicken piccata. I chose to use a few pastas. Sometimes we just have it with crusty bread and we sop it. But I wanted a little bit of that, I don't know, starch. So I'm going to make a little pot of just fettuccine noodles. You can do spaghetti noodles, any kind of noodles. I just happen to have a box over here that's about half full, which is perfect amount for what I'm cooking tonight. So, let me turn you around, show you the ingredients for the pantry pie so you can write them down. And I'm going to get out the kitchen early today, but I had to do a sweet treat for my brother. We're going to start off, you're going to need 2 bowls. Now, you don't need a mixer. You don't need anything for this. You just need a whisk. So I've got 2 separate bowls here. 1½ cups of granulated sugar, 4 teaspoons of all-purpose flour, a pinch of salt, 6 tablespoons melted butter, 3 large beaten eggs, 1/2 cup, half and half, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Now, how simple is that? And that's why we call it pantry pie, because I'm sure your household has every ingredient. You may not have half and half. You can use evaporated milk. Okay? It's going to work the same. I just happen to keep half and half because that's what I put in my coffee. But if I didn't have half and half, I would use evaporated milk. Not condensed milk now. Evaporated milk. There's a difference. So it's a pantry pie that turns out to be decadent. Just, it's divine, y'all. But now I am using a 9-inch deep dish. If you have regular, use 2 of those. make your own crust. No, I'm gonna I'm gonna cheat, and I'm gonna use store-bought 9-inch deep dish. But like I said, you can do the regular, okay? You'll just end up with 2 pies, which is probably better because then it's thin. Because you know, them deep dish, you have to make you slice it like this instead of like about like that. So, I don't know. Maybe I should have stuck with thin. Save on the calories, but I'm not the one eating it, so he getting a full overload. 9-inch deep. It's been 15 minutes. We pulled our pie crust out. Now we're going to increase our heat to 400 degrees. I've set our pie crust down on a wire rack. We've got to allow it to cool a minimum of 20 minutes. Okay, I've separated our ingredients according to our mixing bowls. So to our first bowl, we're going to incorporate the sugar, the flour, the salt, and the butter. Now we're going to move to the second bowl. That is our 3 beaten eggs, our 1/2 cup of half and half, or you can use evaporated milk, and our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. In goes our 1½ cups of sugar, our 4 teaspoons of all-purpose flour, our pinch of salt. Want to get all of that out of there. And we're going to give it a good mix. You want to combine this well. In goes our 6 tablespoons of melted butter. And now what we're looking for is wet sand. And then if it's stuck in your whisk, just beat it out. And that's what you're looking for. Now for our wet ingredients. Our 3 large beaten eggs, 1/2 cup half and half, and our teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to give this a good mix. Now it's time to bring these two together. I'm going in with the wet to the dry. And this is where you're going to combine them very well. Now I'm not going to just leave the camera on, but when you see me mix like that, you want to mix it till it's very smooth. Our pie crust is cool. Took about 15 minutes. It's very cool, easy to touch on the bottom. Now we go in with our wet mixture, and let me show you. Look how creamy this is, guys. See? Perfect. Now I'm going to put it in the oven that's preset for 400 degrees, 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, drop your oven temp to 375. Bake about 35 to 40 minutes, depending on your oven. We're looking for just a light caramel color on top. And I do recommend a pie crust cover, okay, a rim, or you can use foil. Now, this is a 9-inch. All I have is a 10-inch. I don't own a 9-inch, so this is what I use. So, you know, it's a little difficult because I kind of shift it, but you definitely want to protect the outer crust because of the length of time, 35 to 40 minutes on 375. Now, I will have the recipe down in the description for this pantry pie. But in the oven, 5 minutes at 400 degrees. Crank your oven down to 375. Bake about 35 to 40 minutes. Easy peasy. But I won't leave you hanging. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Now, to me, this is the star of the show. The key to chicken piccata is your boneless, skinless chicken breast. Now, these are on the thin side. About 2 tablespoons of butter, your choice of olive oil, and capers. Yes, we love capers. This is about 1/4 of a cup, maybe, of capers without the juice. Lemon pepper, black pepper, salt, a fresh lemon, a cup of chicken broth, and you're going to need all-purpose flour. And you're going to want to sift it very well. I told you, simple ingredients, very affordable and light. It's just a summer perfect meal. Now, I've got my water boiling. Like I said, I'm going to be serving mine with some pasta, but you don't even have to have pasta. You can just have you some crusty bread, because I do add a little bit more of the gravy, if you will, to sop up the juice and have just chicken, and then you can have a salad or just strictly the bread and the meat. Very versatile, but the key would be the capers. If you're not familiar, you can find them where the olives and stuff is. They come in a small jar like this, but the brine that it sits in, I try not to pull that out, and they go a long ways. But the capers gives it this salty, briny goodness, and it pairs very well with the fresh lemon. So, you know, you could omit that. Maybe you could add some green olives. They're kind of less briny, less salty, but if you really want to experience chicken piccata, you're gonna have to have the capers. So first thing we're gonna do is season this chicken, and I gotta keep an eye on that pot. Now we're gonna start by adding some black pepper. Very simple ingredients. A little salt, not a lot of salt, because remember, the capers are salty. But you do have to add a little bit of seasoning to this chicken, because this is the only way you're going to get some seasoning in this, because it doesn't have the ribs, it doesn't have the skin. Now we're going to add some lemon pepper. So you see, I'm concentrating on bringing that zest in and still keeping that little bite of pepper. My water's boiling, so I've got to make my water the sea. I put a lot of salt in my pasta water. I put a wooden spoon over my pot. That helps keep it from boiling over. And you just follow the direction on the box. I'm gonna let mine go about 12 minutes. Now, let's drop back down. We working on the chicken. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over. It's still popping out, but not like boiling over. Okay, there we go. More pepper, more salt, more lemon pepper. Now that we've got our chicken seasoned, I'm gonna add my all-purpose flour, and this is about a cup of flour. I'm not adding seasoning to the flour. Okay, we want to shake off any excess and just lay it over on our plate. So you see, we're not really adding a lot of flour. We're just dusting it. All right, the third breast is coated. So I really could have used about a half a cup of flour, but that's okay. But you do not want to use this flour again. Now we've moved to the stove, and I'm adding those 2 tablespoons of butter and just a little bit of olive oil. And the reason why I'm adding the butter is because I'm trying to bring in a little bit of fat. If you was to do this recipe with just butter, you're gonna burn it. But combining the oil with a little bit of fat, it cooks perfectly. Can you see we're starting to get a little bit of sizzle? That's when we know that it's ready for these breasts to go in. Perfect. Now, by the way, I'm sitting on about a number 8. It's been about 3 minutes. That's all, guys. Perfect. That's what I'm looking for. Remember, we're not fully cooking this chicken just yet. Oh, yeah. Check this large one out. It's ready as well. Okay, we're going to get a golden crust on the other side. Okay, now it's time to pull our chicken. I did turn my heat down to a number 4 because I started seeing just a little bit of burning over here from the butter. But this side is the hottest part of this eye, okay? So we'll just get this around here and it'll stop it. Perfect. Our 1 cup of chicken broth. Now you can use water, but it's going to splatter now. 1 cup, so you want to go in slow. Oh, yeah. Now, I did roll this orange on the counter for a few minutes just to release all the juices. Tell you what I'm going to do. Oh, yeah. Because I want to get as much as I can. In goes our capers. Now, I did move my eye back up to about a number 6. Just to bring it back to a boil. We're going to go in with our chicken pieces. And make sure you get them chicken juices. Okay, we've come back to a boil. I'm going to drop it back down to a number 4. And I am going to put a lid on it. 5 minutes. That's it. While our chicken is cooking for 5 minutes with the lid on, I just drained my pasta. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. Not much. This isn't much pasta. Now, I didn't run water on here. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Not much. Because there again, that's salty. And that's it. Put a lid on it. And our pasta is ready. Our pantry pie is out of the oven. Now here's a good example. This is the one I told you I made a few days ago. Okay, this was with the thin crust. But if you can see, it's like a custard pie. Now, my top did get a little brown, but it is phenomenal, guys. Now it's time to check on our chicken. But you can't cut into the pie for about an hour anyway. But I felt like, well, since I was eating, we have to taste test, quality control. I might as well cut me a little piece of pie to have with my coffee after we take our quality control break. But guys, the pie is delicious. Now, you can use heavy whipping cream. I would add an extra egg if it was me, using heavy whipping cream, just because it tends to separate, but I've done it with that too. All right, I'm taking the lid off. Whoa! Let me drop you down. The purpose of the lid was to allow this chicken breast to cook through and through, okay? Now, with the lid off, I'm gonna go up to about a number 6. I want this to start reducing. A couple of pats of butter, because this is going to give us that sheen as the juice reduces, and when I start coating the breast with it, it's going to stick to it kind of like glue. So I'd say about 2 tablespoons. Okay, as it's reducing, I'm just going to start basting these chicken breasts, because we do not want them dry. In about 3 minutes, we're going to pull it. And look at that. Guys, this is amazing. And there's my little slice of heaven. The first bite is the chicken. It melts. That burst of lemon. Capers, if you're not familiar with them, introduce yourself. Phenomenal. Just try to leave the juice out. Guys, I can't explain it. I just cannot explain it. But like I said, you could just take bread, you know, crusty bread. Now for pasta. Watch me drop a noodle. Y'all, this is one of those dishes that you just, I got a noodle hanging, that you could pick your bowl up and drink it. I'm telling you, it screams summer. It's light. It's light to the stomach. It's just refreshing, guys. So if you're not familiar with chicken piccata, and forgive me, y'all, if I'm saying it wrong, introduce yourself. It is phenomenal, but you really want a whole fairly large lemon, okay? And don't omit that lemon pepper. Now, you see I didn't go heavy-handed with it, but you really are bringing that citrus, the salty brine from the capers. Simple ingredients, phenomenal dish. Dessert. Can I have dessert for dinner? That pie is decadent. It's very rich now, guys. It's not heavily sweet. It's just decadent. It is so good. So, hope you'll give both of these recipes a try. They pair well together because you've got that citrus salty, a little something sweet. The two go together, but I am going to grab some bread. I'm going to toast it, crusty it really good with a little olive oil, a little bit of garlic, because there's enough gravy. That's why I always add more, because he, as well as I, we're going to want to sop that juice. Just saying. So, yeah, we're going to have a little pasta with some bread. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I will not see y'all tomorrow. Got to go to the dentist. So we'll see what Thursday looks like. But I hope your hot Tuesday is cool in your house. But as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. See you on the next one, y'all. You gotta try it.